Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. First of all, my hair is now short. Before any of you come and tell me, oh my god, we loved your long hair, I loved my long hair too, but it had just gotten to the point where it was this long and it was dragging my face down, and I could have gotten, a trim. But I really wanted to feel a change. Like, I was growing my hair out for the wedding, but now the wedding is over. It's summer, it's so hot now, and I wanted a summer refresh. So I got my highlights again and I cut my hair short. I actually love it. It looks really fresh and it's just hair, guys. It's gonna grow back. Don't worry about it. Honestly, even I've realized that long hair suits my face better. But this is just a fun change. That is my first update. And update number 2 is my wrist. I actually have a tape on my wrist and my neck. I got physiotherapy yesterday. It's gotten worse when I was on the trip, and the travel journey overall just caused a lot of strain on my neck and my back, and I had a headache like all over. I'm still in a lot of pain, so she's put tape on me for now. That's actually one of the reasons I'm doing a Q&A for this Sunday's video, because I couldn't think of anything else. I was out of ideas, and this is actually something you guys have wanted for very long, since the wedding actually. You have a lot of questions, so let's get into it. I put a question box on my Instagram story, so I've taken a few screenshots from that. There are a lot of common themed questions, so I'm going to answer all of them. Thank you to everyone that wrote questions. I'm going to keep them anonymous, don't worry. But what should I start from? Oh my god, the type of questions. Like, one of my biggest ick, I don't know if I can have an ick with like people that follow me, but one of my biggest ick is young girls behaving like full-on aunties in the question box and like asking you questions like they want some TV masala answers, which I find so annoying. There was this one girl who kept sending questions yesterday which was like, why are we not seeing you with your in-laws, and what are you doing, and what is your relationship with them, and why do you not go to Delhi and meet them? I honestly find it very like off-putting, because I'm like, you're very young. Why are you interested in these kyunki saas bhi kabhi bahu thi type questions? I had a few questions about the marriage rituals and why you're not, looking like a married girl. I mean, everyone has their own like preferences. I know a lot of people are very excited by that idea of like being a new bride and being in that bubble, and that's completely okay. But for me, I guess I've just not grown up with that idea. I think I've shared this so many times on my social media as well. I've never grown up with the excitement to be a bride in specific. Like, I've never been excited about getting married also. Like, there's a few ideas that you grow up with, and again, there is no right or wrong. And another thing about like posting on YouTube, I have become very, very mindful over the years of what I share on social media. I don't share about any friends that I have in my life. I don't share about my family too much. I don't share about my relationship also too much. Like, obviously you see Addy, and we're very open in a way, but we're not revealing too many details about our relationship. Like, I don't know that. I also don't have all the answers. Like, this is just like a balance I'm also trying to figure out, because it gets overwhelming sometimes. I don't know how to explain it, but when you're filming your life, you're not really, I'm aware that anyone on the internet can watch my videos, but I'm also sometimes like taken aback when I meet people in real life, or like extended family members. It makes me feel like, oh my god, like I'm being watched genuinely by so many people, and I have no idea who actually is watching my videos. Sometimes I also meet like audience who ask me really personal questions. So there is like a parasocial relationship which I'm aware of, and that's why I have consciously like started thinking about things that I want to share. And I'm honestly a very like vulnerable, open person, and I don't mind sharing my experiences, the things that I have gone through or like learned over my, during my life and all of that. But bringing in like family, I'm a little conscious about that, because when there was a period when I was getting a lot of hate, and that hate didn't just come at me, it came at everyone in my family, even like Addie's family. I was really surprised to see that because people were making like really mean comments. I'm sorry, this has gone on so long. I'm sorry my answer is so long, but this is just, I'm just trying to explain why I share certain things and why I don't share certain things. But for people to be like, oh, we haven't seen this on social media, so it hasn't happened, is something you need to like get out of your head, because I might not post every time, or I actually do also, but I've been in Delhi in Jan, in Feb. March I didn't go, but April I was just there before my Paris flight because I was going through Delhi, so I went to meet everyone. But these are things that, you know, it's not necessary that I would post about it, or even if I would post about it, it would be something very subtle and not like, you know, keeping my camera recording the whole time. I'm sorry, I've already gone on such a huge rant, but I was just trying to explain where I'm coming from. But let's get into the questions now. Let's start with one of the most popular questions, guys. Baby questions that all of you have. There's been like different types of questions, like when are we planning to have kids, if we're planning to have kids, when did Addie and I have this conversation, what are our thoughts about it, etc, etc. Like there's a lot of questions around a baby, and again I find it very concerning that this is just the next question. The moment you're married, this is the next question that people have, which I find very strange, because I never think that way. It's actually very important that you do have this conversation with your partner, especially before you decide to get married. If you want to have kids, if you don't want to have kids. We both have discussed this and we want to have kids, but now is not our time. We just have so much going on in our lives, and I'm about to launch my own brand, which again is such a huge step in terms of time, in terms of my energy, finances, everything. Pregnancy is actually a very common discussion in my house. Like every time we sit together, my sisters and I, we discuss having kids, because nobody talks about how overwhelming and major that milestone is, especially now as working women. You're growing up, you're thinking whether I should freeze my eggs, whether I should wait to conceive naturally, is it the right time, am I falling behind on the biological clock, are we financially ready for it, like what is the reason we actually want to have kids, are we emotionally and mentally ready for a kid, and just how demanding that role is going to be. Like there are countless things. I have endometriosis. That's something I'm treating right now. It makes me think about so many things, because I watch so many people on like Instagram and YouTube, so many content creators that are now mothers, and they share about their life after having kids, and it honestly like changes you. Like you experience so many things. Your whole body, your whole physical body is going to change. Your hormones are going to change. Mentally, you're going to experience so many things. Birth, like this, honestly, pregnancy and having kids honestly can be a whole separate video for me, because we genuinely have so many conversations around this. So no, we're not having kids right now. Next question is, are we planning to get a dog? Actually, you know what, we have spoken about it. I did not want to get a dog because I already have a dog. I have Leo, who is my lab. He actually lives in my other house, and since I got married and moved into this house, I miss him a lot. And you know, all the good feelings you have when you have a dog around in your house, and now coming to a house where there is no dog, it definitely is different, and I miss him so much. Again, it's not something we are planning on right away. Getting a dog is equally a big responsibility. You just have to be aware that when you decide to get a dog, that dog is going to be a part of your family. It's going to be in your life for 15 years at least. A dog is something we want to get, but we will definitely like look into it, think of what timing works for us. What is the best advice you would give to a newlywed couple? One advice I would actually give before you decide to get married is try and have all the conversations you can have possibly your living situation, you want kids or not, how are you going to raise those kids, if your values align or not, how are you going to divide your finances, what is your focus going to be for the next year or 2 years, and what are your goals as a couple together. Honestly, that will really help both of you when you're married. And you will always have fights, you will always have disagreements, but I guess knowing that this relationship means a lot to you is always going to help you resolve those fights quicker. The next question is, would you be invisible or have an answer to every question in the world? If you were given a superpower, what would you choose? I would honestly choose to be invisible. I don't want to have an answer to every question. I have too many questions. So that'll never end and I will never be at peace. I want to be invisible because you know why? I've said this before. I love people watching, and more than people watching, I love house watching. Like, you know how you go window shopping? Every time I travel, I am so intrigued and I look like a creepy stalker, but I just want to look into people's homes. And I'm honestly trying to see what their house looks like, not what the people are doing. I'm trying to look at what their decor and their interiors look like. But I also find people watching very calming. I like to see what people's ordinary day looks like. Every time I travel to a different country, I like to see what the people are like, what is their routine, and like just what it's like to live a life in this country, what their daily routine looks like. I obviously can't watch them for the whole day because I see people in public and just see what they're doing in that moment. But being invisible would allow me to do that. Again, I have to give you a warning. This is not in like a creepy way. Please, I don't want to come across as that. This is not in like a creepy, pervy way. This is just purely just seeing people as who they are. It honestly makes me romanticize the little things in life. In Amsterdam, I saw so many people just biking around, shopping, walking around, playing with their kids. It's so cute. So yeah, next question. Can you please give advice to those who aspire to become content creators? Oh my god, guys, I started out so long back. Honestly, now I feel like this has become a very competitive space. As a new creator, I feel like starting with something really specific will help you stand out, because there's so many people talking about beauty, so many people making fashion videos, so many people talking about so many different things. But if you start out with one specific thing, it will really set you apart. And from there, I think you can use your momentum and the traction you've gained to maneuver into different things from there. Obviously, not really different. Like, for example, if you're making a really specific video on butter, like you make your own butter. There's this guy actually on TikTok who made his own butter and started doing butter recipes and then launched his own butter, which sold out like this. So, I mean, for example, if you start making your own butter, then you can't just pivot into fashion videos, right? There's so many different genres. So yeah, I feel like really finding that specific thing which will set you apart. Like, it should almost become what people know you for. Like, for example, I talk about going out tops. I will only make reels on tops that I find from different homegrown brands, and I'm the girl you come to for going out tops. You know what I mean? Like, it's an example. You can steal this idea if you want. But yeah, like something specific where people get to know you for that, and then you go from there. Next question is, how did therapy help you grow as a person? I went to therapy when I started receiving a lot of online hate, and I honestly didn't anticipate how much it would affect me. That was the reason I actually went to therapy. But I had a lot of stuff from my childhood, from my teenage years, from everything that I had just experienced when I was growing up. I had all of that also suppressed, pushing it down for all these years in my heart. And I knew that when I go to therapy, these things will also come out, like bubble out. And that's exactly what happened. But I genuinely needed it. There was no particular reason why I didn't go to therapy for so many years. It was just something that wasn't really talked about when I was growing up. And so I became my own therapist. And I used to talk myself through situations, make sense of things on my own. And that's why I honestly built a very practical and logical type of thinking because I made sense of things a lot on my own. It got me through most of my, young adult life. After a point, I think therapy really helped me to connect the dots and make sense of my feelings. I honestly, when I got out of school, wanted to pursue psychology. I didn't go through with it, but I have always been very interested to know why I feel certain things, where that feeling is coming from, and what incident of my life has, impacted me, because the person I am today is like a result of everything that I have experienced. And I feel like it really helps to have a third person point of view, someone that's not your friend or your relative, and maybe someone that's not going to give you a biased opinion. There's different reasons that people go to therapy for. I feel like if there's something that you're struggling with and you haven't been able to get those thoughts out or make sense of it, it's nice to have someone who can put those pieces together. So that's why I honestly speak a lot about therapy, because I know there are so many young people that follow me, and the age that a lot of you guys are in, like your teenage years, when you're a young adult, your early 20s, these are very like defining years for you growing up, and there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of things. I know a lot of people deal with things even in their own house with their own family, and you can't expect yourself to carry everything, right? You can't expect yourself to have all the answers, to have the capability to deal with everything yourself. Like sometimes help is required, and that's okay. So if you ever want to consider therapy or try it out, I would suggest trying it out till you find the right therapist, and maybe doing like a session or two with that person, and then take a call, because I know a lot of people also don't find therapy helpful. So whatever works for you. Next question: how much do you miss your house? Oh, guys, I honestly miss my house so much. I love the house that we have right now, and my house is actually like just 15 minutes from here. But when I say I miss my house, it's more about the everyday life. Like I feel like now it's more of an effort to like make plans to meet or talk to my sisters, and earlier it was just that I had to walk out of my room and go into the next room. Every little thing that's happening in my life, or every little thing that I'm doing, they actually don't know about it, and they find out either through my videos or when I meet them. So I think that is what I miss about being at home, is like if I've bought something from my trip, I can instantly like go and show it to them, especially if anyone has sisters or has lived with sisters and then moved out of their house, you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, next question: advice on 20s life. I'm currently 21 and I feel like I'm lacking and falling behind. There is no age where you're going to be like, oh, I'm fine, I've made it, it's all good. I have lived all of my 20s and I'm on the other side of it now. So I can tell you that it's never going to stop. You're always going to feel like you're falling behind. Someone is ahead of you, someone's doing better than you, someone has got more opportunities than you, someone's earning more than you, someone has more fame than you, because society tells you the exact time stamp for your life. Like by this age you should have your college degree, and by this age you should have your job, and this age you should be making this much money, this age you should be married, this age you should have children. Like what you need to know is you have to make the most of what you have. If you know that you are doing your best, that is it. Everyone is not dealt with the same cards. We all have different lives. We've all grown up differently. We've all grown up with different families. Another thing is, up until school or college, you might feel like everyone around you is on the same timeline. And then the moment college gets over, you all move into different directions and you will compare yourself to everyone. But you can't do that. You have 100 different variables that have brought you to this exact moment. I think we've done like a podcast episode on this for Dinner Party. I don't remember which episode. But that actually brings me to my next question. Your most asked question, which is, when is Dinner Party season 2 coming? Honestly, we got a lot of hate also on a lot of our episodes. So I was very surprised when I read so many comments from everyone asking for the podcast. So here is what happened. Honestly, that podcast and that IP for me was very special. Very excited by the idea, because I pitched it to my sisters and they were like, yeah, let's do it. but I was also producing the podcast. We spoke about doing 10 episodes and then decided we would do season 2 in a few months. But it honestly felt like we were trying to bring it together, and everyone's energy or their availability, everyone's timelines were just very different at that point. My sister Shloka said she doesn't want to continue season 2 because she wanted to focus on acting more, which we were thinking about. We're like, okay, now we have to decide what the format is going to be for season 2. And I remember in Feb I had gone to Sri Lanka for my 30th birthday last year, and I had decided that once we're back from that trip, we're going to start working on the second season. And that kept getting delayed. And then in March, Shloka fell ill, and Isha also had to, be with her. So it was a very shitty time for us to even think about doing like a podcast. So we put that on hold. And then we decided Addie and I are getting married. And then I started planning my wedding. And things just, kept happening from there, and we never spoke of season 2. I really loved the idea. I really loved the name. I loved the format that we had created. I feel bad that there's nothing going to happen about it. At the same time, I'm like, what can I also do with it? So if you have any ideas, please let us know. But yeah, next question. Very exciting. It is about my brand. Actually, a lot of questions. When I'm launching the brand, what is a hint I can give about the brand? What is the name of the brand? There's too many questions about that. So I actually can't tell you the name yet. But guys, I'm announcing it very, very soon. Maybe next week even. Fingers crossed, if everything goes well, I can. The hint that I can give you about it is that you have seen it in the video a lot of times. And I feel like when I launch or when I announce it, it will like just click for you, because I feel like this is something my YouTube audience at least is going to resonate with a lot. I wake up in the middle of the night so many times thinking, what have I done? Why am I doing this? I know nothing about launching a brand. There's just so many things that I think about. I hope that whenever I launch it, you guys are interested. That's all I'm saying now. Okay, next question. What does Addie do for a living? Addie actually now has moved his focus more to like offline projects, and he is working on production, and he's also working on an agricultural project that he's been doing with his friends. He like appears more in my videos, but his main focus is now on offline projects. Last question for the video. I feel like this video is too long, so I'm going to do one last question. Out of all the countries that you've been to, if you could shift to one, which one would it be and why? I've noticed like whenever I've traveled abroad, even though I keep saying this, that I would one day want to move to a countryside place and stuff, I find that very anxiety inducing, because I think that I'm going to get murdered on this abandoned land. So I really like staying in cities when I travel outside. When we went to Australia, we really enjoyed Sydney a lot. We went to Sydney and Melbourne on that trip, and I honestly really loved Sydney. It was so beautiful, such nice food, such nice people. I feel like Sydney also has an intense coffee culture, which is, hello, perfect for me. They are running at 5 a.m, 6 a.m. They're doing coffee, breakfast. I also met a creator who was from Sydney when I went on my quarterly brand trip, and she was also saying the same thing, that they're up by like 5 a.m. 7 a.m. is late for them. So 5 a.m. they're up. Who knows? I go to Sydney and I like change my whole routine. My life will be changed, guys. I keep saying that I love staying at home, and I do. I genuinely love staying at home. But another reason I stay at home a lot in Mumbai especially is because there's not a lot of places to go just like that. Like, you have to take your car, you have to sit in traffic, you have to go to a mall or be indoors or go to a restaurant. To get out of the house, I find it like such a task. So that's why I minimize the amount of times I step out of my house. If you have moved to Sydney, please tell me what that experience is like. I feel like also moving to a different city is a little scary. It's such a big decision, a big commitment. Your whole life will change. And we're just so used to everything being so easily accessible and so convenient in India, that I feel like that switch will also be a little different. But anyway guys, I'm gonna end the video here. I hope you've enjoyed the Q&A, and if you have any more questions, I don't know when I'm doing this next. And I hope you have a good weekend. I will see you very soon. Bye.